Hi everyone, it's Deni here from Angel Handmade Papercraft. Today I am working with Kindred Stamps Little Town Life. So I've decided to make some bookmarks today. Well, I've got one on video and then I ended up making another one later on. So I'm just having a play here with what stamps I'm going to use. The bookmarks I did use a bookmark die for, and I cut them out using Express It blending cardstock because I know that I was going to do some Copic colouring. Now I am planning on doing some masking, so I'm stamping all of the images out on some post-it notes so that I am able to create those masks. So cleaning off my stamps as I go, inking them all up, stamping them down on the post-its, and then I will fussy cut all of the post-it notes out, and then I will start working out my layout for my bookmark. So I'm using my EK Success Cutter Bee scissors. Now I do like to fussy cut right up to my face, so I'm apologising for not getting that on screen. I do the best that I can, but I need it to be nice and close to me, especially when I'm cutting on the lines. So that's what I'm doing here, getting all the post-it note ready. So these ones here, I have moved my full post-it notes, full sticky post-it note somewhere in my craft room, and I didn't have access to them, so I'm just using a normal post-it note, just making sure that I did stamp the images onto the sticky part. So here I am trying to work out my layout of what I was going to do. I did have this sentiment in mind, which is why I had to pop the candle on there somewhere, and I end up using this sentiment that I had stamped out from my last project. So the best tip that I can give when you're doing any masking is that you always stamp down the images that you're having at the front first, okay, and then you pop your masks down on top, and then you work your way from the front to the back. So candle's going to be at the front, then the young lady, and then I will mask her off, and then I will pop the other character on and stamp him over the top of her, which will already be post-it noted. So any ink that I put down that goes over the top of the post-it note won't be inked onto the cardstock. And I did decide to use some distress inks to create a quick little background for them. I just had in mind just a really bright pink background, so that's what I'm doing here. There is a couple of little fiddly spots in between them, so I'm just trying to be careful there not to lift up the post-it notes, and then I'm blending that out using a lighter distress ink. So popping all of those away before I get any ink on myself. I did wash my hands after I finished playing with these post-it notes just to make sure that I didn't accidentally get anything on my images. Of course, putting my ink away, wiping down my desk with a quick baby wipe, and then I'm starting to colour using some Copic markers. So after I finished colouring, I did notice a couple of spots where I may not have cut right on the line when I was doing the masks, so I just used a RV Copic marker just to fill in those little spots. So here I am working my way through colouring each of the images up, and I will have all of these listed on my blog post. So you can check them all out there. So I'm just running through. These images do take quite a bit of Copic colouring, but they are well worth it. Just working my way through. Like I said, there is a lot of colouring involved. I have got it sped up a little bit. I didn't want to have it sped up too much so that you're not going to be able to see all the colouring. I do have all of the images sitting beside, so I'm sort of looking at each of them as I'm colouring so that I know what's what. grabbing some yellow markers just to do the edge of his suit coat there. You also need to be very careful not to get any of that the distress ink onto your Copic markers, because it will ruin the tips of your Copic markers as well. So one step at a time. You don't realize how much is involved in something that could be so simple until you're actually watching back what you've done, and you can see how much you've had to speed it up and that sort of thing. And I always keep all of my Copic markers on my desk so that I can write them down. Oh, sorry guys, it's 7:15 at night as I am doing the voiceover for this video. The last week of school holidays here for my kidlets from the Christmas break. So I've got my own son and the stepkids here for the week, and then they will go back on Friday, and then we've got a public holiday, then a student-free day, and then they're back to school on Wednesday. So they've had 6 weeks off, but it's gone so quickly, it's crazy. I guess because I've been working, you know, I haven't had any time off, and just makes it that little bit more difficult to try and spend as much time with them as you can. And we've had quite a few of those ridiculously hot 40-degree days. So I'm just working my way through, colouring it all up. For some reason, I didn't colour her skin first. I don't even know why. Going a little crazy, I think. I always colour the skin first. That's alright, we'll go back and get it all fixed up. So as you can see on the top of her head there, on the right hand side in between her and the little man, you can see a little bit of the white. So that's what I'm talking about, where I had to go in with my RV Copic marker and just fix that up just a little tiny bit. And you probably wouldn't have noticed if it wasn't for me telling you, but yes, it's there and I can see it. My stepdaughter seen me when I'd just finished doing this bookmark, and she said to me, "What are you going to do with it when you're done?" I said, "Well, I'm going to put it in my book." She said, "Oh, you're not going to sell it?" I said, "No way. This one's for me." As you can see there, I did use a little tiny bit of Copic marker there on the underneath of the images, and it was on top of the distress ink. I was just really careful and really quick so not to get too much of it on my marker. And now I'm adding a backing on there so that you can't see that it's gone through. And here I'm just creating a quick tassel for the top of the bookmark. I had to do this twice. I used to do these all the time, and this time it just wasn't working for me. As you can see here, I'm kind of forgetting the little steps that I normally do, so ended up getting it to work. That's all that matters. Pulling all the tassel together, make sure it's nice and even. Popping a tie around the top. I thought I'd leave all this in here. Wasn't sure if you wanted to watch it, but it's here. If you'd love me to do some more tutorials on that, let me know and I'll add it to some more of my videos. Just tucking in a few little bits and bobs that I had popped out there before I tied them. Normally I would use a needle, but I just have my scissors sitting there, so I'm just carefully trying to pull it through. Cutting off the ends. I just wanted a short one on this bookmark, and tying it through the top. So that's him all done. I appreciate you guys watching, and I hope to see you all soon. Bye.